Namaste. Today's video is on Supta Padangushtasana in Hatha Yoga. The meaning of the word is Supta means sleeping or lying down. Pada Angushta means big toe and Asana means posture. In this asana, we lie down on the back, lift one leg at a time. We catch the big toe and stretch the leg, lifting the upper body. This asana is beneficial especially for stretching the hamstrings, the inner abductors of the legs, and also improves the muscles in the hip joint and develops the core strength. Those people having problems of back pain and neck pain can perform this asana without lifting the upper body. Let me demonstrate how to perform this asana. I start from Shavasana. With an inhale, I take both the arms over the head. And with an exhale, I join the legs. Keep them straight and pointed. Now, with an inhale, I take the first leg towards 90 degrees. With an exhale, I bring both the arms down. Keep it on the side of the waist. That is the second step. Now, third step is an inhale to catch the toe with that hand. So that's an inhalation. At the same time, I have to keep the other hand on the other thigh, looking at the toe. So that step is Trini. On Chatwari, I lift the upper body and try to bring the chin closer to the knee. So at the same time, I try to pull this leg down and try to come up. So here I stay and breathe for some time, and on each exhalation, I try to bring the chin closer and closer to the knee. And towards the end of the last exhale, I try to touch the chin on the knee. Then inhale, Pancha is to keep the head down. On the exhalation, I have to take that leg to the side ground. That is the sixth step. At the same time, I look to the other side wall and take 3 breaths in this position. After finishing 3 breaths, Sapta, 7th step, is an inhale to bring the leg back to center without bending the knee. That is the 7th step. Ashta, 8th step, is an exhale to bring the chin on the knee one more time, second attempt. Then Nava is an inhale to keep the head down, upper body down. Dasha is an exhale to release both the hands on the mat. Ekadasha, inhaling, I take both the arms over the head. And Dwadasha, 12, is an exhale to bring the leg down. So the asana is completed in 12 steps. Now I'll demonstrate the asana with the correct breaths and the steps. Now let me talk to you about the important points to be noted in this asana. For beginners, when you lift the leg and try to catch the toe, it may not be possible to reach the toe. So in that case, what you have to do is, you have to put a belt or a piece of cloth. So with this belt, you get easy hold of the feet and then bringing the chin up as much as possible. And same way, when you have the belt, without bending the knee, you can try to take the leg sideways towards the ground. So it is easier to do this asana with a belt. You can see how I move the leg. If you don't have a belt, what you can do is, you can do the same asana by slightly bending the knees. Trying to keep the other leg straight, but the top leg can be slightly bent, and then you can try to do the same stretch. Gradually, days passing by, try to keep both the legs as straight as possible and do the same asana. Another very important point to be noted is, when you take the leg towards the side ground, you should not lift the other shoulder and the other gluteal muscles from the ground. Just observe, see, I am now taking the leg down and I am able to reach the leg down. At the same time, my other shoulder lifted up and the other gluteal muscles also lifted up. So if you do this, the effect of the asana where the inner abductor stretch, the stretch on the hip joint, all that will be lost. So what you have to do is, from this position, when you take the leg down, take only to the position where the other side does not lift up. So you need to stop at the position where the shoulder starts lifting or the gluteal muscles start lifting, and maintain the position at this level. And gradually, with the days passing by, the practice will allow you to stretch a little more, opening up the inner abductors and the gluteal muscles. So gradually the depth will come. Slowly it will come. So try not to lift this shoulder and this gluteal muscles off the floor. Another important point is the placement of the other hand. So the other arm should be resting on the thigh like this, and the elbow should be straight. The elbow should not rest on the ground. If the elbow rests on the ground, the support of the elbow reduces the core muscle strengthening. So that support of the elbow will be taken if you do the asana like this. So the core muscles will not build. So we have to keep the other arm straight on the thigh without bending the elbow and try to touch the chin on the knee like that. Another important point is regarding the knees. So it's okay to keep the knees slightly bent like this when you do this asana. But when you take the leg sideways, don't bring the knee above the arm like this. Don't bring the knee above the arm. If you do this, the knee will start twisting and getting damaged. So even if you keep the knee bent, do not keep it like this. You can keep it below the arm like this. In this case, the knee will not twist. See, the knee doesn't twist. The knees are just bent. But when you keep it above the arm, now the knee starts twisting and it starts damaging the knee joint. So in case you are bending the knee and practicing this asana like this, when you take the leg sideways, keep the plane of the leg and the arm same like this. This is enough. So don't try to increase the depth by twisting the knee and then keeping like this. So that will damage the knee. So try to keep the arm and the leg in the same plane as much as possible. In this asana, the leg which is raised, the toes are pointed towards the kneecap. Whereas the leg which is on the ground, the toes are pointed forward. So do not point the toe towards the kneecap on the bottom leg. Keep it pointed forward. Only then the stretch will come on the quadriceps. Drishti in this asana is on the toe of the raised leg. So it's not on the knee, neither in front.
So you have to look at the toe and practice this asana. And when you take the leg sideways, the drishti is on the other side wall, called Parsha Drishti. That drishti is kept to ensure that the other shoulder does not lift up. Like this, turning the neck to the other side. While doing this stretch, try not to bend the other leg too much. So try to do the asana without lifting the other leg from the floor.
Another important point is how to catch the toe. So here we actually hook the toe. So these two fingers are used, they are inserted between the big toe and the second finger to hook it. So when you hook it, the length of the arm will be appropriate and the leg will become straight. If you try to catch the entire toe with the hand, your leg may bend and the length of the arm may not be enough to straighten the leg. So it is always better to hook the toe and straighten the leg this way. So let me recap the important points of this asana. The first important point is of using a strap or a belt so that we can reach the toe with the hand. For beginners, you must use that. Second important point is on the straightness of the legs. As much as possible, try to keep both the legs straight and long. In the beginning, you can slightly bend your knees and gradually, days passing by, try to straighten both the legs. When you take the leg sideways, try not to twist the knee. So the knee should not come above the level of the arm. It can stay below or in line with the arm. One more important point is on the other shoulder and the other gluteal muscles. So when you take the leg sideways, tilting it to the side ground, try not to lift the other shoulder and the other gluteal muscles. So you must stop at an angle where the other side starts lifting up. The arm which is on the bottom should be on the thigh and that elbow should be straight. Whereas the hand which is pulling the leg down, that elbow will bend because we are trying to pull the leg down and trying to bring the chin up. The toe which is on the ground should be pointed forward, whereas the toe which is on the top will be pointed towards the kneecap. The drishti or the gaze in this asana is on the toe of the raised leg. Mula Bandha or locking the sphincter muscles must be practiced while you stay in the asana. Breathing is slow, rhythmic, ujjayi breath, equal inhales and exhales as slow as you can take. The stretch is received in the muscles of the legs, the inner abductors, hamstrings, quadriceps on the other leg. The neck becomes stronger, the core muscles will build, and the strength of the arms and the shoulders will also improve by performing this asana. As I said, those who have got problems of the back or the neck can perform the same asana, avoiding that step where I try to lift the upper body. If you do it like that, it is actually beneficial to problems of sciatica and all. So practice this asana keeping in mind all these important points that I spoke today. Namaste.